Hi everyone, I want to talk about the sex scandal of a pastor that is trending on social media recently. And you see, I usually don't talk about what is trending because this channel is not about what is trending. I am talking about this because it is religion and relationship matters. You all know this pastor that is called Apostle Chibuzor, Gift Chinyere, the general overseer of OPM, Omega Power Ministry. A girl recently granted an interview and she was talking about how she had a relationship with the pastor and she had a baby with the pastor, and now the pastor have abandoned her and the baby. If you have not watched the interview, you can go and watch the video on social media. But I just want to start by saying this girl is as guilty as the pastor. And whatsoever they are doing to each other, they both deserve it. The only innocent in this whole story is the child. And the only good thing about this interview and everything this girl said in this interview is that it exposes the pastors and religion, so that people will know that there is nothing special about religion, there is nothing special about pastors, and there is nothing special about church. Religion doesn't make you a good person. So this whole story is necessary for people to understand what religion truly is. I want to talk about the pastor first before I will talk about the girl. You see, this pastor is a very good person. I am not talking about him as a pastor. I am talking about him as a person. The man is a very good person. He have helped a lot of people. In fact, he even met this girl when he was helping a child that was about to die of HIV/AIDS. And the girl even said a lot of good things about this man. So the man is a very good person, but he is an irresponsible man, just like King David in the Bible. If you will condemn this man and not condemn King David in the Bible, then you are an hypocrite. This man is an irresponsible man. Now, what do you expect from a man who is living in Nigeria and his wife is living in Canada? And some foolish people in the church will still come to the pastor for marriage counseling, knowing fully well that the pastor is not living with his wife. This pastor and his wife are irresponsible married people. I am very sure that his wife have a boyfriend in Canada where she lives, who is performing her husband's sexual duty for her. And the man is looking for someone who will be performing sexual duty, who will be performing his wife's sexual duty at home. Do you really think this man don't have mature girls that he is sleeping with outside? But it is so bad that the man is also sleeping with a young girl, a girl so young enough to be his daughter. And this is very bad. And as for the girl, she knew what she was doing and she knows what she is doing. She is a gold digger. She feels more comfortable being a side chick to a rich, old married man than to marry a young man who still has potentials. She started sleeping with the pastor when she was about 18 years old. So it wasn't a child abuse according to law, and the man didn't rape her. But she said the man threatened her, which I will not totally blame her, although she could have said no and leave the house. And the man couldn't have done anything to her because nobody will even believe her if she say anything. But she decided to do whatever she did with the man because she considered what she was going to lose and what she was going to gain. She knew what she was doing because she already knew that The pastor was married and his wife was living in the Canada. But she was sleeping with the pastor for about a year plus without protection and she didn't get pregnant. But when it was time for her to get married, she said no. Not that the guy did something wrong or the guy who was not good enough, but she didn't want to marry her because she doesn't want to stop the sexual relationship she was having with the pastor. So the guy decided to report her to the pastors and the important people in the church, and everybody was telling her to marry the guy. So she suddenly get pregnant. She got pregnant because she rather be a baby mama to a rich old man than to be a wife to a young man who is not yet rich. But she decided to marry him because too many people were telling her to marry him. Now, after the marriage, she discovered that she was pregnant. Immediately after the marriage, she discovered that she was pregnant. And she took the pregnancy test to the pastor, and the pastor told her to abort the pregnancy. And she said no. Now, you can say no. But you didn't say no when the pastor asked you to sleep with him. You didn't say no when the pastor was sleeping with you without protection. Now that you have leverage on the pastor, you can say no. And you refuse to abort a pregnancy that you are having for another man in your marriage. But you are here talking as if you are a victim. You are not a victim. You are as guilty as the pastor. The only innocent in this whole story is the child. I just pray that, or I just hope that the child will not suffer because of your greediness and the foolishness of the pastor. I don't think the child will suffer because the man who is taking care of other people's children will not let his child to suffer. He doesn't want to send you money because you are blackmailing him. Both of you deserve whatever you are doing to each other because you are both guilty. And for those people who will condemn this pastor and still go to church on Sunday, you are also foolish because you have been brainwashed. Dr. Miles Monroe once said, religion is just there to keep the people busy. So church is just a business. The pastor is the owner of the business, while the members are the customers.